is Monica. I am an OET and IELTS trainer, and in this video today, we are going to look at reading extracts from official OET papers and learn vocabulary words that we often don't take notice of. Now, these vocabulary words could be simple words that you don't know the meaning of, or these could be collocations or even idioms. Remember, collocations and idioms are those words which are easily understandable and very natural to the native English speaker, but not as easily understandable for us non-native speakers. So these vocabulary words we are going to learn with the help of simple examples and explanations. We're also going to look at how these words can also be used in your OET writing and speaking. Now, the big question is this video going to be helpful for you? Should you watch this video? Well, in that case, please understand this video is going to be helpful for those students whose vocabulary is not the best, due to which they have a hard time understanding the meaning of paragraphs. And remember, if you misunderstand the meaning of your paragraph, no method in the book can actually help you find the right answer then. And this is why I'm going to keep this video short for your benefit and your attention span, but more such videos are going to follow. This video is also a helpful resource for those students who don't have the time themselves to look at reading extracts and write the word and meaning and use it in different examples. So I hope you find this video helpful today. All right. So the very first word we have here today is called revealed. And reveal basically means that you make something known that was previously hidden. So for example, here, first example says she revealed the secret to her friend. It means that she told her friend the secret that was not previously known, or the magician revealed how the trick was done, or the magician showed how the trick was done. It's a very simple meaning, but it's a very important word for your OET writing and in your OET reading paragraphs as well. The reason for this is in OET writing, we often use the term reveal or revealed to talk about test results and what those test results actually showed us. So, for example, here, an examination that day revealed expiratory V's and conjunctivital congestion. So here we know that the examination which was done that day, maybe in some previous visit, revealed these two things. If you do not want to use the word reveal, you can absolutely use the word showed. There's no problem with that. But when you want to talk about multiple examinations, you can go back and forth between these two words. For example, blood test showed or revealed increase in WBCs and CRP, or examinations or investigations revealed tenderness in the left lower quadrant abdomen. Clearly, in the paragraph that we have here, they say that over a century of sleep research has revealed numerous undesirable outcomes from, and it continues. So it has shown numerous undesirable outcomes. It has given us, revealed, shown to us. So in this way, you can use this particular word revealed, especially in your OET writing. The word outcomes is very, very commonly used in your OET writing, in your OET reading, actually, because when you talk about any kind of studies, any kind of clinical trials that you are doing, so you are bound to discuss the findings, the results, or in other words, the outcome of that particular trial or any event or any other decision. When that happens, this word is going to pop up in your reading paragraphs. So, number one, you should know its meaning. Number two, you should know the other words which can come in the place of the word outcome, so that when you see those words, you do not confuse yourself that it might mean something else. And number three, you should also be aware of the very common collocations which are used using this word outcome, especially when we talk about results of clinical trials or any other kinds of studies or surveys. So, the very first thing, outcomes means the results or consequences of a particular action, maybe some action you took. So, what was the result of that action, or what was the outcome of that action? Or because of a situation or an event, something happened. So, what was the result or consequence of that particular situation or event? Now, the other words for synonym that you can use for the word outcome here is the product of something, because product is always the result of something. For example, you can say that children are the product of parents. So, children are the result of their parents. Output is another word that can be used. Eventuality, that is going to happen regardless. Fruit of something, because often we hear in Hindi, karm karte jao, fal ki chinta mat karo. So the fal word is literally being used here. Fruit of something, result of something, consequence of something. Ramification is another word for talking about consequences. The aftermath of a situation, it's very common to use it in sort of a negative context when you talk about, for example, the aftermath of world wars. And you can also use consequence, result, conclusion, effect. These are the most common ones that you see in your OET reading. And apart from these, what are some other collocations that are very commonly used in your reading paragraphs? Just like in the paragraph we have in front of us, it says that the sleep research revealed numerous undesirable outcomes. So, whenever you want to talk about what kind of outcomes we are going to receive, you can use adjectives with it, and that sort of makes up the collocation here. So, undesirable means that something that we did not want, something that we don't like. Undesirable, unfavorable. So, not a very good outcome, right? Adverse outcome means that it was something way more than we expected. In a way, adverse, for example, you use the word adverse when you want to talk about the side effects. Adverse side effects, so extreme side effects or extreme outcome in this case. Similarly, positive or negative outcome can also be there of a situation of a trial. You can also have successful outcome or desired or favorable outcome. These words are going to come again and again in your OET reading. And I'm not just saying OET reading. I know I keep on using the word OET reading vocabulary, no, but this is just to get it in your head that in order to improve your reading skills in your OET, Part C paragraphs, you need to read a lot more healthcare articles, and these words collocations are going to be used a lot in those articles. If you are in the habit of reading medical journals like Medical Journal of Australia, or you read articles on medical news today. So you're going to find these words being used a lot. If you are already aware of their meaning, it would make it easier for you to comprehend the meaning of the sentence that they are being used in. And in the end, as a result, you will be able to understand the overall paragraph really, really well. The word striking is actually an adjective, and we use this adjective striking when we want to show something or describe something that is very noticeable, that is remarkable or impressive. So I'm just saying synonyms now of the word striking. Striking simply means that, oh, it's something that you should notice. It's not ordinary and it has to grab your attention here. This particular word use is used quite a lot in your reading paragraphs. So it is actually used with some other words, and because it is used with some other words, we call them collocations. And these collocations include using striking appearance, striking difference, striking resemblance, striking contrast between two things, or striking fact, noticeable fact that you should not miss, striking example, an exemplary, extraordinary example, striking feature, not an ordinary feature, very noticeable, usually in a good way, that kind of feature. Now, in the paragraph, when you read it, it says that during sleep, debt, and recovery, researchers gave participants a glucose tolerance test and found striking differences. So they don't find differences which were like, nah, it's okay, it's normal, it's fine. No, but they found differences which actually grabbed their attention. They found striking differences, noticeable differences, something that you should take note of and you should not be missing that. When a writer in a paragraph uses these kinds of adjectives, that means the writer wants you to pay attention to that sentence. There could very well be a question based on this or an answer option based on this. So you should be able to understand that not only did they find differences, but they found significant, important, striking differences here between with the help of this glucose tolerance test. Now, the word striking, because it is a synonym for very noticeable, remarkable, or impressive, this word actually can be used in your OET writing a lot. Not just can be used, it is actually used a lot. So in OET reading questions, you can get asked about these questions by saying that, oh, what does the writer find impressive about the test results? So the word striking or the word noticeable is going to help you indicate that, okay, this is that one thing that the writer, or sorry, not the writer, maybe the researchers also found impressive about this because it is the synonym for these words. Other than that, this word remarkable can also be used in your reading paragraphs. For example, here it is actually a paragraph, it is actually a sentence from a paragraph which says that I may affirm that this study is a revelation and that the results have been remarkable, that the results have been noticeable, that they have been significant. How they have been significant, that has not been discussed, but they have been remarkable, they have been noticeable. I was talking about using the word remarkable in your OET writing early on, and how we can do that is if I want to say that the findings or the results for something, or maybe something that I'm saying that you should take note of to the reader of the letter, I can say that this in this example, his family history is remarkable for asthma. That means that in his family history, one thing that you should take note of is that they have a history of asthma. Similarly, if I wanted to talk about test results or any kinds of, let's say, investigations I did, not just tests, there could be any other kinds of investigations as well. And I wanted to say, oh, there was nothing noticeable there. You do not need to pay attention to that, right? Or in other words, I just want to say that those findings or tests were just normal. So I can use the term unremarkable, which basically means that there were no significant abnormalities, no noteworthy findings, which can also be used in your writing, by the way, any of these terms. Example here, the first one says that the MRI scan of the brain was unremarkable. So that means the MRI scan of the brain that we did, it did not show any significant findings. It did not show any findings that we should be talking about right now that were abnormal or that were not within the normal range. Similarly, the example next one says, examination did not reveal any noteworthy findings. So, yeah, I can just use this term, any noteworthy findings, any significant abnormalities. That means everything was within normal range. Any of these phrases can be used in your OET writing because they are extremely formal, and OET writing is a formal writing task. So, if you want to talk about test results, reveal and remarkable, unremarkable, noticeable, abnormal, normal, these five words are going to be your best friends in OET writing when you're talking about test results or findings of any kind. But yes, they are also helpful in your reading paragraphs because they do come up again and again. The word resemble actually means to look like or be similar to something or someone else. It's a very common word, so I don't think a lot of people would not know about this meaning. But the first sentence here, for example, tells us that she resembles her mother. It's very common for children to resemble their parents. In other words, it's very common for children to look like their parents. So they resemble their parents, or the actor resembles the historical figure he portrays. So the actor looks very similar to the historical figure that he is playing in the movie or the drama anywhere else. The twins closely resemble each other. So the twins closely resemble means that they look extremely similar to each other, which should be normal because twins, they look like each other. The new building closely resembles the old one. It means that the new building is very similar to the old one. Similarly, in the paragraph now, when they say, while sleep deprived, by the way, while word here is used as me saying during sleep deprivation. So, while can also be used to define the time period for something. It can be used in your OET writing as well. When you say while hospitalization, so that means during hospitalization, and it is actually perfectly used in OED writing, by the way. Uh, Coming back to the paragraph, while sleep deprived, the men's glucose metabolism resembled a pre diabetic state. So during the sleep deprived state, during the time that they were actually sleep deprived, did not have enough sleep, the glucose metabolism of the men in the study looked very similar to, or was very similar to, a pre diabetic state or a patient's pre diabetic state, basically. So that's the meaning here. This word can come up again and again in your OET reading paragraphs. Again, I'm saying OET, but in any reading paragraphs, it can come up as long as they're healthcare context paragraphs. At the same time, when you want to talk about resemblance between things in your OED writing, let's say you want to say that, oh, his symptoms are very similar to a particular health problem. For example, his symptoms make me think that he might have anemia, or he might have pneumonia, or he might have diabetes. So the term that you can actually use there is suggestive of. For example, his symptoms were suggestive of diabetes type 2. His symptoms are suggestive of anemia. It means that you are making a calculated guess here, but this particular condition has not yet been confirmed or diagnosed properly. So it does not mean that, oh, this patient has this condition. No, it means that his symptoms are very similar to what you would think in a diabetic state, or his symptoms are very similar to what you would have in anemia. So that's why I'm saying that his symptoms are suggestive of, rather than saying that he has anemia or diabetes. So it can be used in your OET writing as well, but do not use the term resemble in your OET writing, because resemble would create confusion for the reader. There are medical terms that you use in your OET writing when you want to clarify things. So when you say resemble, then that's not professional enough. That is just you looking at somebody and saying, they resemble each other. But if you want to make a calculated guess in your OET letter writing, there you have to use the term suggestive of. That means you are not 100% sure, but you do feel that these symptoms are very close to this particular condition's symptoms. So that needs to be confirmed further. But yes, they are suggestive of this condition. Now, that's the end of today's video. I hope you found the vocabulary that you learned today helpful, and I hope you are able to use it in your letter writing as well, where it is appropriate and not just unnecessarily. Remember, I'm trying to keep these videos as short as possible. Sometimes they go to 30 minutes, sometimes they go to 15 minutes. But the reason behind these is that you can watch these videos while you're traveling to work or from work, and so that you don't have to set out a time separately for watching these videos and increasing your vocabulary knowledge so that you can attempt your OET reading paragraphs better. Now, here is a summary below for all the vocabulary that we have learned today. And I hope you subscribe and you like this video. If you like it, please share it with your friends. And if there's any particular kind of video that you would like to watch from me, apart from reading part A, because understand that reading part A videos are very difficult for me to make here in a YouTube section. Apart from that, if you would like any other particular videos, do let me know in the comments, or if you would like to see more examples. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.